2, 3, 4, 5. And we are back with One Piece Unlimited World Red. And today, I know I said in the last part that I wouldn't show the missions until after the main story, but I thought about it a little more, nearly 5 minutes after I did the last video, and I was like, you know what, that sounds complicated and unnecessarily, well, basically it would just make things a little more complicated for me because I would have to hold on to footage longer than I should, and because I am doing these between episodes, I figured, well, screw it, I'll just go ahead and do it. I was going to try to keep it consistent so each video, so that the episodes will be back to back, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to have a break in between. So with that said, we already got a little bit of a hint as to what to expect in the next episode for you One Piece aficionados. But for those that don't know, don't worry, I'll show that off in the next episode. For now, we're going to be taking a break and taking on some missions. Oh, hi lady. Yes, she also runs the tavern. Here at the tavern, you can take on quests that are requested by the townsfolk. You don't necessarily have to talk to them, you just have to come here periodically and quests will open up. Now, quests will also open up after you complete a certain number of quests. We'll actually see that here, but I won't be taking on every single quest that's available for now. There's one in particular that I'm just not prepared for, because I was going to try to expand the town by adding a pharmacy and the factory, but I'm unfortunately short on material. I think it was herbs I was short on, but whatever. I needed to buy some stuff from the pharmacy because I just need heal items for that specific mission, so it won't be to the next session of missions where I will show that off. So for now, we are taking on a mission that takes place in, Punk Hazard, and my team consists of Zoro, Usopp, and Chopper. Chopper, you are my least favorite. Whoops. Anyway, I won't necessarily be using Usopp and Chopper. I'm just bringing them along for experience, because you do get experience, and every time you do get new members, they start at level 1, unfortunately. So I actually recommend taking on quests to get your newer members caught up, and there's a quest in particular that I will get after completing episode 3, so I will be showing that off. Yeah, it's good time. But here we just have to catch 5. Oh, what kind of animal was it? Some kind of rat. You just gotta catch 5 of them. It's nothing too hard, but hey, money, see, powered up words, whatnot. The rewards, I think they're worth it. Yeah, here we go. Here's one of them. And this is me forgetting how to use a net. GG Duke. Alright. And this is also another reason why I wanted to open up the factory, because I could have gotten a powered up net. This would have made this a lot easier. Granted, I got better with the net by conveying patience, unlike I usually do with, well, video games in general. But yeah, it would have been nice to have the level 2 net. So I just cut because it's literally going through the same area as before, and the rats, they actually spawn in different spots every time, so they're not really hard to find. You just gotta look for them on the ground, and I think there are more than 5 even. If there's not, there's just enough, but you don't have to go through the entirety of Punk Hazard. It's actually cut off right, yeah, we're actually at the end of it. And this is right past the area where you fight the dragon, so it's not big at all. You shouldn't get lost. It should take little to no time to find them, but the reason I cut to the last rat after the first one is because, in all honesty, there's nothing inherently wrong with these missions. It's just they probably wouldn't be too interesting for y'all to watch me catch 5 rats, and I'll be taking a similar approach to other missions with that nature. And by that I mean every single mission in this video. It might switch up. No, actually probably won't. Yeah, basically I'm just gonna show off the beginning of the mission to give you a general idea of what it's like, and then I'll cut to when I finish the mission, just to show that I did indeed do it. But at the same time, I don't want to just bore y'all to death with me catching 5 rats, or in this case I think I had to find 10 10 cactus pulp. Oh, just 5. Oh, well, it takes me a while to find them. Anyway, Usopp, he's a sniper. Who knew? And he can actually go into first person view by pressing triangle while on the ground. And in that mode, if you let your cursor hover on an enemy, it'll actually charge up the attack. And if you press square, it's basically a charged up stare attack. And then if you press triangle, it's some type of, oh, I forget what it's called. It's one of his special attacks, but basically he fires a phoenix. It's pretty neat, actually. And he's pretty fun to use. I think we're gonna see it right here. No, oh yeah, that was a phoenix. It's a lot better with crowds, I noticed, and it does have a chance to burn them if memory serves me right. But yeah, Usopp, he's pretty fun to use. And I think I'm going to cut eventually. I think Usopp can also fire shots while in the air, and I don't really use the aerial attacks much unless I'm prompted to in order to get the break. But yeah, most of the time I'm just firing off the square. If you fire long enough by pressing square in succession, he will use his special attack Green Star, which is essentially a large plant that latches onto enemies and damages them. It's pretty good. And I already cut to where I found the last cactus pulp. It's completely random which cactus, or cacti, will drop the pulp. So just search around and you'll find it eventually. I think this area has an endpoint. I'm not sure. I never had to go too terribly far, but because the area is so far, well, so wide, you do gotta do a little bit of searching. But again, not too terribly hard. Just don't want to bore y'all with me running around destroying cacti. That's no good. Okay, and let's see, why did I, oh right, I actually left the tavern in order to see if I could build the pharmacy and the factory, and that's when I realized I was short on herbs, and I don't need herb for the, herbs for the factory. I think it was gunpowder. Yeah, it was gunpowder. I was missing one piece of that. One piece. LOL. And one of the herbs. So I gotta wait to build them. Oh well. Now with this mission, oh my goodness, phone. Anyway, with this mission, I show off Chopper. I don't really like him, honestly. His attacks and combos are decent, but it just doesn't really pack that much of a punch compared to the other characters. And plus, trying to pull out the combos they have next to the list, they're kind of picky for some reason. I swear I do them, but the game just doesn't read them. And because he has to connect the attacks, and combination with the fact that he launches his opponents almost 80% of the time, it's kind of hard to activate breaks. So I tend not to use Chopper unless I know he'll have to use his ability on the field, which is Dig. So, not necessarily a bad character, it's just my least favorite. Also, when opponents are on the ground, the prompt chase will come up. Basically, he'll, well, chase down an enemy and knock him off of the ground. So, it gets around that annoying, oh, I can't hit you because you're on the ground move. There's that. But whatever. And this is a field action. Zoro can basically cut steel bars. And that's really the only reason I brought him. I probably would have brought Frankie. But oh well. Anyway, I just cut to where I get the last of the money. In this chest, which is actually to the left of the breakable wall, you can find 500. And that'll more than likely end it for you. Enemies, they usually drop 100 apiece. And it's completely random when they'll drop it. They'll occasionally drop items as well. So it shouldn't take too long, but again, no, actually this did take me a while because I had to go past the wall, but oh well. Interesting how you get words for characters you don't even have, so I don't know if they expected you to wait till you have your all your party members or what, but doesn't matter. On to the next quest, which is actually the last quest actually for this video. There is one more that I mentioned earlier, but I decided not to attempt it because on my personal file, I got wrecked. There's no other way to say it. I just got flat out wrecked. It was a combination of me being reckless and also being unprepared. So I'm going to approach that mission later. So here, who do I bring? Oh yeah, Frankie, Chopper, and Usopp. Yeah. And which one is this? This is the one where we fight Dragon. Dragon. I'm playing Shantae. I was trying to say Dagron, but I semi-corrected myself. Oh well. Excuse me. So yeah, gotta take on the dragon. Back here at Punk Hazard, trying to knock down his trees. And this is actually, I don't think I mentioned this, but unedited, this footage was about 33 minutes, and about 10 to 12 minutes of that footage was this fight alone, because I'm actually going in completely underleveled and very underprepared. But he's not necessarily hard because his attacks are extremely telegraphed for the most part. But yeah, you're gonna see me attack for a little bit, and then I'm just gonna cut to where I kill him. Because I don't want to have y'all sit through this. Matter of fact, the original fight didn't take nowhere near as long. The difference with this one is I believe he has higher defenses and more health, and he can hit a little bit harder. Which, you know, you have 3 party members now as opposed to just Luffy. So there's that, I suppose. But again, I just didn't want to drag this on too long and have y'all sit through the entire fight. Usopp definitely shines with this fight though, because as I can see, he's up in the air, and Usopp is, if memory serves me right, the only character that can actually attack from that range. So he's definitely someone you can count on for this fight. Ow! Oh, I got burned. Oh well. Oh, Chopper's R1 special. It's not a physical attack, well, the one he starts off with anyway, but it does heal your allies and gets rid of their status ailments, so he could potentially be good for this, especially if you're not good at dodging the fire. And Frankie, I brought him because, well, I wanted him to be on the same level as Luffy, and that's my reasoning. Frankie can also be pretty good as well if you set up the turret, because you can actually guard and the turret won't take damage. So there's that. I don't know if the barrels actually, you know, not the barrels, but the cannonballs actually hit for decent damage, but the way I see it is free hits, because I noticed that the guard prompt stays up slightly longer when in the turret. Maybe that's just me, but I noticed it was a lot easier to press guard while in the turret, so there's that. And yeah, that's all the missions for this video. Nothing too terribly hard or too terribly interesting to watch. But in the next video, we will actually start with episode 3. Thank you for watching, and I will see you then. Take care, y'all.